Would you rather have $1 million guaranteed or a 50-50 chance at having $1 billion? Why? Story 1. I'd take the $1 million guaranteed. Sure, $1 billion sounds like a dream, but it's just too much of a risk. $1 million would be life-changing for me. I could pay off all my debts, buy a decent house, and invest the rest. It would give me security, and I wouldn't have to worry about living paycheck to paycheck anymore. The 50-50 chance for $1 billion is tempting, but I can't imagine losing that and walking away with nothing. The regret of passing up on a guaranteed million would eat away at me. With the million, I can live comfortably and enjoy life without stress. Story 2. A 50-50 chance at $1 billion is enticing, but honestly, I'd take the $1 million every time. $1 million is enough to significantly improve my life and the lives of those close to me. I could start a business, travel, and still have enough left to invest for my future. The $1 billion gamble is like playing with fire. Sure, if you win, you're set for life and beyond, but if you lose, you're left with nothing but regret. I'm not the gambling type, and the thought of losing such a golden opportunity for guaranteed financial stability just isn't worth it. I'll take the sure thing. Story 3. I'm more of a risk taker by nature, so I'd go for the 50-50 chance at $1 billion. Why? Because even though there's a possibility I could end up with nothing, the chance to change my life completely and achieve that level of wealth is too tempting to pass up. $1 million is great, but $1 billion? That's life-altering for generations. I could fund philanthropic projects, invest in groundbreaking startups, and create a lasting legacy. Sure, it's a huge risk, but sometimes you've got to bet big to win big. If I lost, well, at least I took my shot at greatness. Story 4. I would take the guaranteed $1 million without a second thought. My life isn't glamorous, and $1 million would instantly wipe out any financial worries I have. I could buy a modest house, put money aside for my kids' education, and build a solid retirement fund. The security and peace of mind that comes with knowing I'm financially set for life, or at least a good portion of it, is priceless. Gambling for $1 billion sounds fun, but the risk of walking away with nothing is too high. I'd rather have something guaranteed than chase a wild dream that may never come true. Story 5. Honestly, I'd pick the 50-50 shot at $1 billion. Life is about taking risks, and this is the ultimate gamble. Sure, I could end up with nothing, but I'd also have a chance at never having to worry about money again. $1 billion means I could make all my dreams come true, help countless people, and travel the world without ever looking back. Plus, the adrenaline rush of knowing I could win big would be worth it. $1 million is great, but I'd still have to budget and be careful. $1 billion chance, though? That's the kind of leap I'm willing to take. Story 6. I'd definitely go for the $1 million guaranteed. I'm not much of a gambler, and the idea of walking away with nothing terrifies me. $1 million might not be as glamorous as $1 billion, but it's enough to give me peace of mind. I could pay off my mortgage, put aside money for my kids' future, and still have enough to enjoy some luxuries. The idea of losing everything for the slim chance of becoming a billionaire just isn't worth it. The stress of hoping the coin lands in my favor would be too much. The million would change my life without the anxiety. Story 7. For me, it's all about minimizing regret, so I'd take the 50-50 chance at $1 billion. It's a huge risk, but the possibility of winning that kind of money is too good to pass up. Even if I lose, I think I'd be okay knowing that I took a shot at something extraordinary. $1 million would be great, but it wouldn't drastically change my life in the long run. The thought of always wondering what if would haunt me more than losing the money. It's a tough call, but I'd rather go big or go home than play it safe. Story 8. I would choose the $1 million guaranteed without hesitation. $1 billion might sound amazing, but it's just too much of a gamble. With $1 million, I could finally pay off all my debts, help my family, and set myself up for the future. I'm not interested in living a lavish lifestyle. I just want financial security. The idea of risking it all for a 50-50 chance at something I don't even need feels reckless. I'd rather have a comfortable life knowing I'm set than chase after an enormous fortune and possibly end up with nothing. Story 9. I think I'd go for the 50-50 chance at $1 billion. I've always believed that fortune favors the bold, and this would be my one shot at something truly life-changing. $1 million would be nice, but it wouldn't give me the freedom that $1 billion would. With that kind of money, I could fund projects, support causes I care about, and live a life completely free from financial worry. Even if I lose, I'd be able to live with the decision, knowing that I took a risk for something extraordinary. It's a gamble, but but life is all about taking chances. Story 10. I'd go for the guaranteed million. As much as I like the idea of potentially becoming a billionaire, the thought of losing and walking away with nothing would keep me up at night. $1 million would provide stability and comfort for me and my family, and that's worth more than the slim possibility of a massive fortune. I'm not interested in living extravagantly. I just want to be debt-free, help my loved ones, and save for the future. Taking the risk for $1 billion is tempting, but the $1 million is a sure thing, and that's good enough for me. Story 11. I'd definitely take the guaranteed $1 million. As much as the idea of $1 billion sounds tempting, I've never been the type to take big risks, especially with something that has a 50-50 chance. $1 million is more than enough to dramatically improve my life. I could pay off my student loans, invest in my future, and still have enough left over to help out my parents and maybe even take a much needed vacation. I wouldn't know what to do with $1 billion, and honestly, I don't need that much money to be happy. I'd rather take the sure thing and enjoy the peace of mind. Story 12. For me, I think I'd go for the 50-50 shot at $1 billion. The reason is that while $1 million would be life-changing, it's not enough to secure generational wealth or make a massive difference in the world. With $1 billion, I could fund education, start massive charity projects, and change so many lives, not just my own. Sure, it's a risk, but I've always believed in going big when an opportunity presents itself. Even if I lose, I can always earn more money through hard work. But passing up a shot at $1 billion? I think I'd regret that forever. Story 13. I'd go with the guaranteed $1 million. While the chance at $1 billion is exciting, I'm more focused on building a secure future for myself and my family. $1 million would be enough to buy a home, invest in my retirement, and make sure my kids have a good start in life. I'd still have some left to pursue my passion projects or travel a bit. The risk of losing it all for the slim chance of $1 billion just doesn't appeal to me. It's tempting, but I think in the long run, stability is what I value most. The $1 million gives me that without the gamble. Story 14. I'd take the 50-50 chance at $1 billion, no question. I know it's a risk, but the payoff could be astronomical. $1 billion could fund all my wildest dreams. Starting a business, helping my friends and family, traveling the world, and donating to causes that matter to me. I could make a real difference in the world with that kind of money. If I lose, sure, it would sting, but I'd still be living the life I have now, which isn't too bad. I'm the kind of person who thrives on taking risks, and this would be the ultimate test of luck and ambition. Story 15. I'd go for the guaranteed $1 million. I've never been much of a gambler, and the thought of losing everything for the chance at $1 billion is just too much for me. $1 million would still drastically change my life. I could pay off all my debts, buy a house, and invest in my future. Plus, I'd have enough to start a small business I've always dreamed of. The stability and security that $1 million offers are far more appealing than the stress of a 50-50 gamble. I'd rather know I'm set for life, even if it's not at a billionaire level, than risk everything for a slim chance.